Hello and welcome to this episode. We're going to call it Modern Operating Systems. It's a book by Andrew S. Tanenbaum and Herbert. So the idea here is we're going to read this book together, and through reading it, we're going to be getting to understand the computer from its basic level, you know. So we have the computer as a hardware, and then also we have the computer as a software. But also the computer as a software, it has different layers, and that's what we're trying to have a look at, because in today's computing, most of the computation has been abstracted to what we call in the cloud or server farms, So the computing is being done away, and our gadgets are now being used just as a terminal to access services and such kind, especially for those people who are connected. But for us to understand the potential that we have with this huge computation power that we now are able to access as a common man, as me, it is important for us to know how the modern operating system works, and from there, because that is where all computation starts, and then you can be able to understand all things, including what the buzz right now, artificial intelligence. So this is the cover of the book, and if you want the book, I'll leave my email there. You can send me an email with the request of the book, and I will be able to send you this exact copy that I'm going to use to teach. But I will suggest, if you have the funds, just go to Amazon and buy a copy there, But this is mainly for, this is just for those who are under-resourced but want to understand computers at, let's say, first principles, kind of. Actually, why I like this book is because Andrew S. Tanenbaum is a maker of what we call Minix, and Minix is what inspired what we now call Linux. And if you read about Linux, it's one of the best computer operating system that is operating everywhere, including outside the universe. I think it's on the Mars rover or something like that. So yeah. So if you look at this cover of the book, I like this cover of the book because it actually uses like normal things to kind of like talk about the processes we're gonna learn in this book. So you can see it's talking about threads. You can see thin client here. There's a thin guy here. We go to critical region. You can see it's kind of like it's actually organized under a circus. And then you can see modern operating systems, like this one, Wheeler's guys. Confinement problem, you can see a confined animal up here. We can see load balancing, this guy is pulling, like it's lifting it up. You can see windows, there's windows here. There's a server, this guy is like having a hot dog canteen there. You can see dining philosophers, actually is more like the guys who are watching the circus and eating. Then there's security, chasing away someone with the fire, and then there's an escape character here, escaping. We can see the ostrich algorithm represented by an ostrich here, and we can see the run queue represented by cheetahs here, and then we can have the dart bits represented by kind of like the poop of the horse, and then the Trojan horse, which is the actual horse, and then we can see input here is what the horse is eating. We can see the buffer overflow, so this is where the car is kind of overloaded. Then you can see the denial of service. There's a police denying some people here. Big kennel lock. There's a kennel that is locked here. We can see a process scheduler. There's a guy handling the lions here. We can see the race. There's some dog race here. We can see an interrupt. It's kind of like a huddle. We can see virtualization here. There's a guy being lifted here virtually. And then there's a cloud, the smoke there. We have the pipes. And then we have the snooping. We have a doggy. And then we have the packet sniffer. We also have a doggy. So basically, these are some of the concepts we're going to encounter in the book. And this is just the overview of the book and also just showing you the cover. In the next episode, we're going to be looking at kind of like we are going to look at this is what we're going to look at. We're going to look at the content. So get ready for the next episode and let's meet each other there.